Okay, is Antonio Conte on his way out of Chelsea? Now, he's just won the FA Cup, and last season he won the Premier League, so he's won trophies for Chelsea. Their league form this season hasn't been as good as last season. It's fair enough. They've regressed a little bit in the league, but hey, when you've got a team like Man City winning as much as they have, it's going to happen. But Chelsea's league form is very inconsistent from season to season. We can just look at the last 4 years as a snapshot. Win 2 leagues and really struggled two other leagues. So 2 out of 4 league wins, not bad. But in the season after they win the league, they regress. Chelsea has a win now mentality as a club. Since Abramovich took over, it's win at all costs. There is no build to win. It's win now or you're fired. Now Mourinho was there for 3 years in his first spell. That's the longest serving managerial spell that a manager has had at Chelsea since Abramovich's takeover. The fact that Conte has survived 2 years is above average for a Chelsea manager. And I have many friends who are Chelsea fans, so for Conte to get to 2 out of 3 years in his contract, not doing bad. It's a pretty successful spell in my consideration. If he is on the way out, it's been rumoured for weeks now. He's even stated after the FA Cup win that he's leaving the decision to the board, and he's done all he can to keep his job. So I think he's resigned to the fact that he's probably getting sacked, which I don't think he fully deserves. I think there are issues with transfer policy. The Diego Costa saga at the beginning of the season. Would he stay? Would he go? This time last year, Conte said he was no longer part of the plans. He wanted to sell. Costa's claimed he wanted to stay, but flew to Brazil for some reason. That was handled really badly by all parties concerned. I think that's unsettled the dressing room. But transfer policy as well it's got to be looked at, like letting Matic go. That I think made no sense. Weakened the midfield. They haven't really strengthened the defensive core. They've had a lot of injuries as well with players like David Luiz, who can play midfield and defence. Has been injured a lot this season. Some of their transfer policy and also their youth development as well, developing youth players and then selling them for cheap and then buying them back expensively as well. That's happened a lot. Chelsea got a lot of players out on loan all over Europe. Not just in England, they're all over Europe out on loan, with the option of those clubs signing those players, which they often do. So Chelsea's transfer policy needs to be looked at, and their youth development policy. So that's not on Conte's shoulders. That's on the club over a decade or more, 15 years. That's what the club's been like since Mourinho took over. That's something that needs to be addressed, and that's something that Chelsea fans on this channel do regularly talk about, is their transfer and youth policies. But it is a win now mentality at Chelsea. I think Conte is on the way out. I don't know who replaces him. I honestly don't. This is a regular thing at Chelsea. Is like, doesn't matter. Insert manager's name here. Will they see out their contract? Probably not. They have a higher manager turnover, I think, than any other club in the Premier League ever. They have really gone through managers quite rapidly, and it's very rare for a manager to see out their contract at Chelsea. It is a win now mentality, and the squad always seems to be on the verge of needing a rebuild, but it's a win now. So they add a few pieces, they win a league or they win a trophy, and they keep adding a few pieces. They're not developing enough young players into the squad, and they're not restructuring the squad for a new manager to come in and have a new philosophy. The philosophy is win now with what you got and the tactics you have as a manager. You have to get these players to play from the get-go, win straight away, and how can it be sustainable? I don't know, but Chelsea have pulled it off, where other clubs have had this win now mentality and done the changing of chopping of managers, and it doesn't work. For some reason, it seems to work at Chelsea. But I feel sorry for anyone in that Chelsea dressing room having to have a new manager every season, 2 seasons to listen to. There's a different philosophy, a different style of play, and expects players to play different. It must be really confusing for the player and going, okay, what's this manager want compared to the last guy? The only constant in this is a couple of core players. That is the only constant. A lot of the squad has changed, and it's not as, I wouldn't say, as deep as it was under Mourinho's second spell. John Terry's left the club. Cahill's the senior defender with Luiz. They're the 2 senior members of the defensive corps. Goalkeeping tandem, Courtois, and then someone else will rotate around with Courtois in goal. Midfield, they've lost Matic. Midfield is a big concern for me. And up front, they've added Giroud, which I think was a very, very good move. But Morata isn't quite adapting to the English game. Maybe next season, all could be well. We shall see. But Diego Costa, that's unsettled a lot of players in that dressing room. So is that all on Conte, or is that generally how the club works? Transfer policy is going to be questioned. But it looks like he's on the way out. Who replaces him? Place your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.